You might have seen on the community tabs, and I also did post a POV video of it last weekend, I bought another Volvo. This is Thor, my 2010 Volvo XC90, but there's something different about this XC90 that makes it kind of special. So in the past, I've been talking about getting an overlander, adventure, expedition vehicle, and I've been kind of giving some subtle hints about the car, but I honestly had no idea of getting an XC90 up until maybe a month ago. So it's been pretty recent. So on-road handling and driving dynamics was first on my list, and then off-road capability was second. So I think this vehicle perfectly fits that category for me. But I did look at a bunch of other SUVs that I put on my list on my phone. First gen Toyota Sequoia, first gen Acura MDX, Land Rover LR3, Volvo XC70, both generations, the P2 and the P3, the Toyota 4Runner V8, VW Touareg TDI, and the Lexus GX470. Those were all about the price range that I wanted to look at. See, honestly, I wasn't even planning to buy this now because my budget for this vehicle was 10 grand. And I bought this for $3,500. Yep, $3,500 Volvo XC90 V8. So despite the Volvos not being the most off-road capable, I still for some reason kept going back to them. And I was originally planning to look for either a P2 or a P3 XC70. So an XC90 wasn't really on my radar because I was like, oh, it's too big. Now that I've had this for about a week, I'm in love with the size. It's perfect. I mean, the XC70 is also a perfect vehicle for off-roading and stuff if you want a wagon, but the XC90 will suit my needs a little bit better. So let's take a deep dive inside and outside of my XC90. So we're gonna do a tour on Thor, my XC90. So this one is a 2010 V8 Executive, like I said earlier. So the Executive trim has a few little things that the regular ones don't have. So it has the chrome trim on the C-pillar with the Executive badge, the chrome mirror caps. These wheels are only available on the V8 XC90s, I think 2010, 2011, only those 2 years. And this one also has the steering responsive HID headlights, which I have to give the lenses some love, but other than that, they work perfectly fine. But the paint on this is in really great shape. I was really surprised, especially when I first saw it in the sun, like right now too. It looks so good, and it's a black with a hint of brown in it, and I really like it. I have to replace this cap over here for the headlight washer. That's like 10 bucks for a pair, so that's not that bad. This one has the updated grille that I think 2011s and newer got, so I like that this one already has it because I like the newer Volvo logo like on my S60. But I really like all the little chrome pieces around this car. I at first thought I was gonna not completely black it out, but get rid of some of the chrome, but I really like how the silver wheels and the chrome mirror caps look. I might change the color of the wheels, maybe to a gunmetal, but I'm not exactly sure. This side, the paint is almost immaculate. It just needs like a paint correction, but you can already see I just washed the car. Look at how nice that looks. Just the whole car itself looks really nice. This is what I mean about the Executive badges on the back. And then I like leaving this tow hook out. I need to find a D-ring to put on it. It's missing the taillight garnish that goes underneath, like on this side. I saw them online for like 40 bucks. I don't really want to pay that much money for all that. The only real damage on this car is this ding right here. It really shows if you stand away from it. You can really see it's a pretty sizable ding, so I might find some paintless dent repair guy to fix that. But now that's pretty much everything on the outside. So let's go inside. So this one has the tan and brown and cream interior. I personally like it more than the black interior. The black is kind of boring and dull. I like the lighter colors on the inside of this car. So this one, it is the executive, but it's missing the cooled and massaging seats. But that doesn't really bother me because these seats are plenty comfortable enough and they're plenty supportive. And even at 172,000 miles, they've not worn out too bad. This is mostly just being dirty, so I am going to get the leather conditioned and cleaned at some point. This one has the wood steering wheel, and it's the 3-spoke wheel. This is the wheel I like more than the 4-spoke boxy looking steering wheel on the other XC90s. So I'm glad this one has it, and I love all the wood trim all around the car. This one also does have the GPS that's dated as hell, that I don't really use it. So let's watch the little screen pop up out of its shell. It's pretty slow, but it's there for something. And it does work. You know, it's not terrible, but I don't really use it that much. I still use my phone for most of the GPS. And then down here is this cluster of buttons, and I like all the buttons, but I am planning on replacing this head unit with a Legend head unit that I saw on a Facebook group. Apparently it's a good one. I have a friend that has it and he loves it, even with a backup camera, Apple CarPlay, all that stuff. So eventually I will do that, but it's like $700, so it's not on my list anytime soon. And down here is this assortment of buttons over here, like for the rear climate, blind spot, adaptive headlights, child locks, power folding mirrors, and parking sensors, and then just a blank switch on the other side. One of the other problems that this car has is that the clips for the sunroof visor, I just washed the car, that's why my arm is wet, but the clips for the sunroof visor are broken. So I'd like to find how to fix that, because when I floor it or accelerate quickly, the thing opens, and then when I hit the brakes, it shuts. So I leave it shut, but I like it open. And now in the back, the XC90, as big as this car is, isn't as spacious as it seems to be. It's because if I get back here, I mean, the seat is in my driving position, and the second row seat is all the way back. They can slide, but I don't have a lot of legroom. I'm not pinched or anything. I'm 5'9", but you know, there could be a little bit more space. I am comfortable. I can fit my feet all the way under the seat, and my knees are okay. They're not touching, but there's like an inch of legroom. You have an ashtray type thing on top, and then cup holders over here, and then this whole center console can be removed. I don't know exactly why, but you can remove it by some little lever down here, and then the whole thing just pops out. But another Volvo characteristic, they've been doing this for a while, is the booster seat. It's difficult to do it with one hand. Nope. Damn it. Okay, I'm just gonna hold it, but this booster seat for kids. And back here is the third row. I'm not going to pull it up all the way, but you know, it slides. Well, the bottom pops out and then this folds up, but I keep it down because I don't have many people coming in my car anyway. But you know, there's not a lot of room back there, but it's adequate for emergency trips. Another one of my favorite things about this P2 XC90 is the tailgate. It's a split tailgate, so the top goes up. The old X5 did this too. Then the bottom folds down. And then there's no storage underneath here. I just leave my front plate and then this cover for the tow hook under there. And then the spare tire is way underneath. The battery is actually in the back of the XC90 as well. And then, yeah, I'm going to get all this detailed so all the stains will come out. So now, let's get into the mechanics of things and see what's wrong with the car. And also, let's talk about the powerhouse under the hood. So, under the hood, that pretty big hood of the XC90, it's a 4.4 liter dual overhead cam V8 that was built by Yamaha, and designed by Volvo. Well, it was built and designed in conjunction. Yamaha built it, Volvo designed it, and Yamaha developed it. I don't know if that makes sense, but 311 horsepower, some people say 315, but 311 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque, 6-speed automatic transmission, and Haldex Generation 4. That whole package combined is actually pretty good. I did have to get used to how the V8 revs because it's a very smooth power band. Mileage is something that's kind of been In town, I've been getting between 14 and 16. On the highway, I've seen 20, 21. You might also be wondering what's wrong with it to be $3,500. And honestly, it's not a lot. So it has a check engine light for 2 coil packs and an O2 sensor. At least I really hope that's what it is. And then just like a lot of other V8 high mileage Volvos, the valve cover gaskets are leaking, but they've just started to leak. So it's not too bad. So that gives me enough time to choose if I want to take it to an independent shop or if I want to dive into it myself. I'm probably going to take it to a good shop because I hear it's a lot of work. So I also want to change all the fluids as much as I can before I take it on any wheeling trips or before I stress the all-wheel drive, or just not stress, but use the car. I was also fortunate enough to get a pretty sizable amount of service records for this car, so it was taken care of before I had it. So I have a few plans for Thor in the future. I don't really plan on doing anything to the engine because that's totally fine. I might do some sort of higher up intake, but that's really it. But let me show you, I just turned my phone off. Let me show you the list of things that I want to do. So the things I want to do cater towards making this car more off-road capable. Cross-country performance 2-inch lift kit with a 1-inch subframe spacer, so that makes it 3 inches in total. All-terrain tires, probably Falcon Wild Peak AT3Ws. I'm not exactly sure how big of a tire I can stuff under this thing with the lift. The previous owner did a few little things to the inside and outside of the car that I actually like myself. So he put LEDs on the inside and the outside, like the brake lights, tail lights, turn signals, reverse lights. And then my favorite thing that he did to this car is a resonator delete with a MagnaFlow muffler. It sounds so good. So I just realized tomorrow is actually going to be 2 weeks with Thor. And these 2 weeks that I've had this car have absolutely been a blast. I have not had any disappointment in my time with this V8 Executive XC90. And I can't wait for all the adventures to come in the future, and I plan on bringing you guys along with me. I want to take this thing all over the country, but there's a few things that I want to do to it to make sure that I am not going to get stuck anywhere engine-wise and terrain-wise. Oh, so I'm shooting some B-roll, and I just remembered I did want to mention I drove this thing through a snowstorm on Sunday and on Tuesday, and this thing really impressed me, and it just gripped everywhere. Haldex really does a good job, especially with this car. So I just wanted to mention that because it was really mind-blowing to see how Volvos do so well in the snow. It's just not fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video of Thor. And stay tuned for all the different types of videos that I post on my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye peeps.